Yo, what's good everyone? This is Ayo Boxing with Madiba, and here's my post-fight review for Teofimo Lopez versus Jamaine Ortiz. I was not expecting the fight to turn out like this. I thought it would be a close fight, and I chose Teo to win, but not like this. I'm not mad at the decision because Ortiz low-key gave the fight away in the championship rounds. Teo barely did enough to win, but I truly believe that Teo got exposed last night. Teo cannot fight going forward efficiently, Teo cannot cut off the ring, and he cannot make adjustments when his opponents are fighting on the back foot and have movement. And most importantly, Teo is still the same emotional fighter. Teofimo Lopez is the most inconsistent boxer in the sport. Ortiz, on the other hand, surprised me and had a good strategy that neutralized the offense of Teofimo for the most part. But Ortiz sold himself out by not being active enough. He had all the tools to win this fight, but failed to fully execute it. He gave away the fight, to be honest. But that 117-111 scorecard was disgusting. Classic top-ranked shit, but that's besides the point. It never crossed my mind before this fight that Ortiz was going to box and move against Teo. Leading into the fight, Ortiz said he would knock out Teo, which led Teo and myself to believe that Ortiz would be aggressive and fight on the front foot, but instead came out on the back foot, boxing and moving, sticking and moving with his jab, and look at the counterpunch. And most interestingly, he came out as a southpaw. Teo's last two opponents were southpaws, which was Josh Taylor and Sandor Martin, and his best win to date was against his southpaw, which is Lomachenko. But Teo could not figure out Ortiz. This was pretty much a repeat of the Sandor Martin fight. The fight consisted of Teo following his opponent and not cutting off the ring. Ortiz circled out to the right the entire fight, and Teo basically did nothing to stop it. I didn't hear his dad nor any of his cornermen address that. Because of this, Teo could not be effective on offense. He had trouble closing the distance consistently, was throwing one or two shots at a time, got countered on the way in, then was forced to reset each time that Ortiz circled out. Teo was able to land some good shots whenever he did close the distance, whether it was using his athleticism to explode and attack, or forcing Ortiz to throw so he can counterpunch him. But the vast majority of the punches that he threw missed or didn't land cleanly. The only adjustment he made was to up the aggression and push the pace in the final rounds, but that was about it. The biggest takeaway was the frustration that Teo showed in the post-fight interview and during the fight as well. Teo was visibly upset throughout the fight. He tried to lure Ortiz in multiple times, but none of it worked, and you can tell that the crowd was affecting him. Ortiz stuck to his game plan faithfully and had a lot of success doing so, particularly with the jab, check right hook, and straight left hand. However, Teo's defense was also good, and Ortiz missed the majority of his punches as well. Ortiz's activity gradually decreased throughout the fight, which would cost him the fight. You're not going to beat a top-ranked champion fighting like that. And this just seems like a reoccurring theme with Ortiz. He did something similar against Lomachenko, in which he faded in the later half of the fight, which cost him the fight. Overall, this was a tough fight to watch. Teo disappointed, and he knows it. He came out with a very flashy entrance, but gave a dud performance. This will not raise his stock, and he knows that with this fight. It was clear in how he conducted himself in the post-fight interview. The man sounded delusional and just weird. It's safe to say that Teo is the most inconsistent boxer in the sport. He looks great one fight and then shit the next. And I like Teo. I went out to the Josh Taylor fight to support him, but it's evident that Teo is somewhat limited. Hands down, he'll beat anyone that's aggressive and comes forward, because Teo is the best when he's counterpunching. But if Teo has to come forward and initiate offense against an opponent who knows how to utilize his legs, Teo is beatable. We have seen this 3 times before in his career. In the second half of the Lomachenko fight, George Kambosos and Sandor Martin. Now it's Jamaine Ortiz. Teo would beat Subriel Matias and Ryan Garcia, but Teo cannot beat Devin Haney or Gervonta Tank Davis, and for damn sure, he cannot beat Terrence Crawford. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing with Madiba. Hit like, subscribe, and more content coming your way.